All right, that's live. Um, ba-ba. All right. All right. It seems to be all good to go. All right, that's good. All right, that's good. All right. What is good, everybody? I have an awesome guest for you guys today. The incredible and awesome Jacob Lingle from Kaiju United. But before we get to him, my shout out, I always do shout out to a YouTuber, personality in this community. So today it's from Instagram, Godzilla's Wifey, GodzillasWifey. Go check her out. She does fantastic pics of figures she's picked up. Awesome stuff. So with that out of the way, let's bring on Kaiju United, Jacob Lingle.
Hey, what's going on? How's it going?
Not bad. How are you doing?
Hey, pretty good. Personally, I just started a new job, so I took some time away from the site, but now we're gearing back into things. We dropped a couple interviews and articles, so we're just getting back into the swing. Thought I'd stop by and make an appearance on the stream.
So, sometimes I like to forget about people. Just remind me, where can we find you at?
Sure. On every social media, we're on Kaiju United. Just, Kaiju United, no underscores, unless you're on Twitter, I think. And then we have a full-fledged website that's kaijuunited.com, and that's where you'll find our interviews and our articles and sometimes some news drops. And then we also do Instagram and Facebook news. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those, just like what's going on in the community or what figures being announced. So a lot of fun stuff. You can just pretty much find us anywhere, but mostly on that website, kaijuunited.com.
Now, on that Kaiju United, what do you guys really do? What do new people gonna learn from you guys?
A lot. You'll learn a lot about what's going on in the community. Like I said, we specifically have taken a lot of pride in being a forefront events coverage entity. So we have a page on all the kaiju events that are going on. We like to run news on screenings in your area, all the conventions we've worked with so far. Any kaiju convention that exists, we've pretty much worked with. I think we missed a couple, which is okay. You can't do them all, but pretty much if you want to learn more about the world of kaiju, we're friendly to newcomers, and a lot of our articles are informational, but we really are just, more so what's going on, whether that's community, whether that's cool comic books that independent creators are making, or if you just want to get some more insight into some of the figures that have done stuff, because we also do interviews. We've interviewed the Final Wars director. We've interviewed Jared Krzyzewski, who designed the monsters for Godzilla vs. Kong's Mechagodzilla and then the new Empire creatures. So Lots to learn. There's a lot.
Yeah, you guys are definitely my first glance at news stuff, especially on Instagram. When I get on there, you guys are automatically the first people I see with new news that's breaking within the community.
That's great to hear. We're not always first, and that's okay. Like it's not a race to the finish line, but
True.
we hope to be the most accurate and the best. Just making sure you understand like what the news is too. So that's good to hear.
Now, if I remember correctly, I think I seen you guys posted that you guys are going to be at this upcoming New York Comic Con. Do you want to talk more about that?
Yeah. We got a press badge for New York Comic Con, so one of our staff members will be there. Just providing good coverage. We'll see what else can be confirmed later. But basically we'll just be there as a press entity, which is really cool. Really nice that we're considered big enough to be a press outlet for a big show like New York Comic Con.
Yeah, it's definitely, if not the biggest thing on the East Coast compared to what's out there in California.
Absolutely. And I'm from Utah, so New York's a long, long way from here. So, but luckily some of our staff is local to New York, so they're going to take care of that. And, I won't be there, but Kaiju United still will be, if that makes sense.
Which is still a huge accomplishment within the Godzilla community as it is, for one of our own to be invited to be there. That's huge news.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And it's a good honor. It's really cool that other entities have also considered Kaiju United to be, in their own words, one of the front forces of the kaiju world. And they're not, in the forest like you and me are. They're looking from the outside. So that was really cool to hear. Can't really talk about who said that right now, but there's definitely a lot of great relationships that we've cultivated, as a press entity and through just community building and doing all that stuff. It's really fun. And I think it's cool because, it's not always about the business. It's, for me, I learn something whenever I connect with somebody. So I just enjoy that aspect of it a lot.
Oh, yeah. Now let's get to the big thing in our community that happens once a year, Gfan. Did you attend this year?
Yeah, and we sponsored the show too. We showed up and we were a sponsor, just like one of the forefront boots on the ground. We documented everything at the show. We had a little block off for the costume parade, and we shot photos that look really nice. I did one of the special guest Q&As.
Oh, nice.
Takuji Yamada. So I got to chat with Takuji Yamada about diorama building and that world. I thought that was really cool because I'm not really a diorama guy, but that's okay. It's really fascinating. And there's still some, I'm a figure guy, as you can see behind me. So there's definitely some artistry there with the painting and the sculpting and taking a kit and making it your own. So that was really cool. But we definitely had the biggest presence we've ever had at this year's G-Fest, which was really nice.
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I wasn't able to. It was either go to G-Fest or get Central Air for the summer. The wife was, you're going to get the Central Air. Okay.
You got to get air conditioning.
Yeah. So this past year, we're about approaching the end of this 2024. That into 2023, it's been a fantastic year for Godzilla Kaiju altogether. I mean, we got Kong animated series, whether you like it or not. We had the Gamera animated series, fantastic, right? Ultraman Rising, fan-freaking-tastic. Probably the best iteration of Ultraman, all around. And that's probably saying a lot. You had -1, GXK, the Kong game, the new up and coming Kong or MonsterVerse game. You know, we got an app game coming out pretty soon. I think the beginning of the year. I mean, just so much. Oh, and Monarch. Can't forget Monarch. I mean, now it's an anomaly, it seems like. It's never in history in our community have we had this much content come out. Now, could you speak a little bit on it? What you liked and what you didn't like about this up and coming year or past year?
I liked this is gonna sound really weird, but I liked it in general. But that doesn't mean I liked every single piece of media that came out. It's more of like there's so much accessibility. I mean, fans talk about the dark ages, you know, from 2004 to 2014 a lot. And, you know,
Yeah.
I was there. I remember it. We still had King Kong and Cloverfield, but there was a clear absence of Godzilla. Now, everywhere you look, Godzilla's everywhere. He's on hot sauce bottles. He's he's in Target toys. Godzilla toys are in Target now, which is crazy.
Blows my mind.
And not just with the big franchises too, like you brought up Kong, Godzilla, Ultraman. I personally I loved Ultraman Rising, which was wonderful to see. I really enjoyed it. There's also other kaiju movies coming from other countries, like Thailand is doing some really cool work, just pumping out creature features like the lake and the 100. I think which was released here is Creepy Crawly. It's like a big centipede movie.
Oh,
They got Leo the Terrible Giant, which was released as The Beast Below. It's a big lizard comedy. There's just so many monster movies coming out. And I hate to ignite the fandom fires here, but I do want to make the Star Wars comparison, but not in the way you think. I'm going to say it's like Star Wars in the fact that there's something for everybody. You know, if you're not going to like this thing, you're going to like something else. It's just, you know, it's going to happen. If you didn't like Kenobi, you're going to like Andor or whatever. And that's true with everything. Like everyone liked -1. Like
it's hard to find somebody that doesn't.
I've seen a couple reviews that were middle, which is okay. You're entitled to that. But like you liked -1. Some people didn't like Monarch. I enjoyed Monarch. It was cool. But then -1 comes out and you like it. It's just so great that there's so many different kinds of ways to tell stories with kaiju and even stuff coming up. Like Sony's developing a kaiju movie that's like Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead, where they go into a zombie infested area to pull off a heist, but it's a kaiju.
Oh, wow.
So they go into a kaiju containment area to pull off a heist. So that might be a cool movie. I don't know.
That sounds interesting. It really does.
The concept, yeah, on paper it sounds fun. And, you know, the movie might come out and not be as good, but I don't know. I'm down.
If Sony backing it, though, you know it's going to have a little bit of money.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, in terms of just what's coming out, it's crazy to me. I think, you know, comic books, there's always a kaiju comic coming out, which is really great. And I'm rambling a little bit here, so please feel free to interject at any time. But like the indie comic scene with kaiju creators is great. You got Kaijus and Cowboys, you got Territory, you got all kinds of stuff. And then just yesterday or the day before, they announced the Grant Sputore, I think that's his name, and Jay Martin are working on a comic called Behemoth, which is about like what happens if you get eaten alive by a kaiju.
Oh, wow. That ought to be interesting.
Yeah. And Grant, if you don't know this, for anyone watching, Grant is directing the next Godzilla Kong movie for the MonsterVerse. So it's really cool that he's going to do a little comic before he gets busy with Hollywood filming. So, yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Now, let's go into some of the past kaiju stuff that's come out. We'll start with what I think is probably the rough one. Now, like you said, what I might dislike, some people might love, you know? What was your take on the Kong little animated series?
Yeah, that's the good example. Truthfully, I didn't see it. I just didn't have Netflix at the time. I got Netflix to watch -1 and Minus Color again, but otherwise, I just don't really use Netflix. Oh, and Ultraman Rising. I got Netflix for Ultraman Rising, but at the time, I just didn't see it, and then I just never went back. But that's not
Which is
because I was
probably
like,
better off.
okay, and it wasn't because I was like, it wasn't because I was like, man, this looks like crap. I don't want to do it. It's just I forgot, honestly. Um, so maybe I'll go back and watch it, but it's not a dig on the creators or anything. I just haven't.
Oh
Seen it.
no. It's the presentation of it is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. The kaiju's that they come up with, awesome. You know, I liked the characters aspects of it. I don't really want to ruin it for you. Not seeing it yet. The kaiju's
Fair
are
enough.
pretty cool. It's just my personal belief with it. The way they did Kong in there was just a little too not Kongish. But we'll leave it at that because I don't want to influence you or ruin it for you. Experience it on your own.
For
Now
sure.
you said
Fair
you
enough,
got
man.
Netflix for -1.
Mhm.
What did you think of the English dub for it?
I thought the English dub was pretty good. Um, I watched it dubbed only A to check it out one time just to see what it was like. But B, I watched it with my family and they're not really subtitle people. So it was really great that the dub was available for people that just can't keep up reading the subtitles and stuff like
Something
that.
for everybody.
Yeah, exactly. I'm more of a subtitle guy, but I'm not gonna look down on you if you like dubs. I mean, sometimes I'm really tired after a long day of work and I don't want to read a movie. It makes sense. Um,
Especially when
but
you're in bed and you're watching a movie. You're not trying to do all that.
yeah, there's sometimes I turn on a movie when I'm cleaning up around the place or if I'm doing work on the PC editing a submission and I just want to listen to something. Um, I can listen a little bit to a Japanese Godzilla movie and kind of pick it up because I've seen them so much, but you're still, unless you're fluent, you're not going to take everything in.
Yes.
It's a little easier to watch a movie in English. But no, I thought that was pretty good. We just interviewed L too, who voiced Noriko on the dub, and they had some really good insight into the process and working on that dub. And they were saying that there was great care in making the dub really great, so it wasn't like an old '70s Bruce Lee movie.
I think they did a fantastic job
So
with it, honestly.
yeah, for
I
sure, agreed.
watched
Yeah,
I watched the original and minus color. And I enjoyed it thoroughly.
it was on the better side of dubs, but I don't watch too many modern dubs because like I'm not an anime guy, and it's okay if you like anime. Like I'm not. This is just my opinion. Take it or leave it. But watching that -1 dub, it was clear they put a lot of care and effort into it. And it wasn't just like I said, a '70s movie with Bruce Lee in it, having that kind of reputation with dubs. So I really appreciated that.
I will get you.
Yeah, exactly.
But all right, now that's out. Let's go to the next one. You said you liked Monarch, or you didn't mind Monarch. Was there any certain spots in Monarch that really sticks with you today?
I like the pilot episode a lot. I really like the world that exists after Godzilla did his thing in G14. It felt the most like the tone of Godzilla 14, and I like G14, so that was really cool to see, like the Godzilla hazard signs, evacuating into the bunker, and then episode 5, I think it is. They go back to San Francisco, and you just see that the city has not been rebuilt; it's just left to rot. I thought that
Yeah.
was really cool. You don't really see that very much. Like Godzilla destroys a lot of buildings and fights a kaiju, and then he goes in the water. You don't see what happens afterwards. So that was really quite the unique concept. And it's been done before in other movies, but I really liked how they really explored that aspect.
What did you think of beginnings of Apex? You know, I didn't see that coming at the end of the series, and I think that was a little good plot to us to interpret it.
Yeah, that was interesting. I was thinking that something like that was going to happen because the company that May worked for was like really shady and stuff, and they were pushing the limits with technology and neurolinking. So I was like, oh, okay, something's going to happen. But for those that aren't super into the lore, I think it was a kind of a fun twist. Like, oh, okay. So all these spoilers. The show came out in November.
Yeah, if you haven't watched it now, you're probably not.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was cool. I'm interested to see where season 2 goes because they're filming that right now, and then they're writing a spin-off show to Monarch. So,
oh yeah, with anime, right? With Ice Cube son.
That is I can talk about that. That's a different project. But the showrunner of Monarch is writing a draft for a spin-off show. Like there's a Hollywood agreement kind of stuff, but they're gonna write a live action spin-off and maybe another one.
Oh, really? Is it based on any of the characters that we know?
I don't know.
Oh, wow.
That's above my pay grade.
Oh, wow. All right. I mean, that's awesome. Great news. I mean,
the show you're talking about with O'Shea Jackson Jr. is actually an independent project led by Chris, who is the media relations director at Toho Kingdom. So he's teaming up with O'Shea Jackson Jr. and they're doing this independent animated Godzilla show. It was called Monarch G Team, so I see where the parallels are drawn, but apparently that might not be what it's called, but I'm not sure. I can't really say for certain.
Well, anyways, more stuff is always great news. Now let's get to the big boy of the year, GXK. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, from a lot of people I've heard more towards disliking it than liking it.
Interesting. It's really cool that the audience score is so high on RT. I wouldn't call Rotten Tomatoes a Bible. Go see stuff for yourself and draw your own opinions. But it's cool that the audience kind of vibed with the movie and thought it was fun. I was kind of middle of the road. it was fun, and then I saw it, and then I watched it at Gfest when it played, but I haven't seen it since. But I felt that way about GVK too. I keep drawing Star Wars comparisons here, but I feel like GVK and GXK were the rise of Skywalker in a way. It was like, hey, you guys complained for years and years about monster fights and not caring about the people characters. Here you go. We're giving you what you want. So, personally, for me, that's not what I want. I want something more story-driven, like -1. But for the people that really were that passionate about just having monster fights and explosions and stuff, I think they got what they wanted. And that's cool.
For me, I know I've stressed it a lot. I was, they even pushed back GXK a little bit to work on it longer, and kind of depressed with the outcome of what we got.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you brought up Star Wars. I'm going to bring up, they tried to go too much like Guardians at parts. Tracker seemed like Star-Lord, driving the ship, listening to the music. it just a lot of things. What they did with Shimo, not a big fan. Scar King. Now I will say this to the end. If they would have stopped after the fight with Scar King and Kong in the lava cavern, where all the other apes were working, if that movie would have stopped right there, it would have been a perfect movie. I think ever since that, they kept on going. It was just a downward disaster.
Fair
But
enough.
hey,
Fair
it's
enough.
you got the so-called well, it's fans' thoughts. Shimo's the one that froze Ghidorah. That's not lore or set in stone. It's just what everybody seems to think. And it's pretty much at the end of the movie, Kong's petting him like his little dog. Good boy. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Wholesome.
and another podcast brought up, and it's a good point. Godzilla got energized from Tiamat's powers, which made him super strong. Tiamat was a super strong character with that energized, and he didn't use it. Like barely used any of it. What was the point of it?
Yeah, but to quote Adam Wingard himself, he said, "None of this matters. None of this makes sense. Doesn't matter. Don't question it."
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. We'll leave it at that and move on.
Now, that's what he said in the GVK commentary. So that was whether or not how you feel about that. That's the rationale, which is unfortunate if you don't
now
like
that statement sort of brings back. I don't know if you are Xbox fan or not, but back in the day, before Phil Spencer, there was a guy, I forget his name, Xbox 360 era. He came on, he's like, internet? Do you want to connect to Wi-Fi and the internet? This is the new technology. You ever hear that famous clip of the president talking about the 360? And it got a lot of people pissed off about Microsoft,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's off topic, but there's been some fun Xbox E3 moments for sure. Like, just real quick, the whole disc debacle with the Xbox One is still one of my favorite moments of all time. PlayStation comes in and is like, "Hey, here's how to use games on PlayStation," and the guy just hands him a case with the disc in it. I was in high school when that came out, and that was priceless. Just off topic, I know, but it's just really funny.
Hey, let's go with it. Now the PS5 Pro, did you hear about the price point on that?
Yeah, I
$799, not with a disc player. That's extra $80. Then you got to have that installed. So I think we'll see. Right?
Gaming's pricey.
Gaming
is expensive.
Go PC if that does happen. If they don't lower the price, guys, go PC.
Sure. I have my Series S, and I played the occasional game, but I wouldn't say I'm a gamer or anything. So I just play for fun.
Those days are beyond me.
Mortal Kombat and Halo.
I play my PS4, play my Monster Hunter, and I'm good.
Fair enough.
Now, you talked a little bit. Let's do some fun stuff here. Talked a little bit about action figures and the stuff behind you. Now, I also see on some of the other groups that we're both a part of, you like the model kits. You want to talk about any of that?
I don't really have any model kits, actually. I like a lot of posts because I think they're cool. Like I said with the Takeji Yamada interview, I was pretty unfamiliar with the world of model kits before I interviewed Yamada. But since I did that, I just had a long-term respect for what they do. I'm more of an action figure guy by trade. And I could dive into that.
Is there a certain line that you like?
I kind of like everything. I have some Bandai behind me. There's NECAs on the top shelf over there, some Monster Arts. then I have a cabinet over here, and there's a lot of soft vinyl stuff, colorful, like Marmot Giga Brain kind of stuff. But I'm at the point where if I see something cool, I'll just get it. I'm
Yeah.
not like I need to have every single Monster Arts. I don't buy that much. I think the last purchase I made was under my head right here. And that's the Oscar Gold -1 Godzilla, which is cool. And then I think I have the Hayatoy Shimo on pre-order, and that's it. So
That does look pretty cool, I gotta admit. I think
it's
High
pretty
is
cool.
killing it right now.
That Godzilla 2000 looks phenomenal. I might pick that up.
Yeah.
Definitely not as big of a collector as a lot of cool folks in this community. I'm definitely, I would say I'm more of a film guy. Even outside of the world of kaiju, I just watch a lot of movies. But I have my figures and they're cool.
What's your favorite Godzilla movie?
Oh, gotta pick one, huh? I would say I'll go 2 picks. I really like Godzilla versus Gigan. That's like the rose tinted nostalgia goggles pick. That's the first Toho Godzilla movie I ever saw. Every time I watch it, it's still great. It's still fun. It's still memorable. It's got a great human cast. And then I would say, like, movie wise, I think Mothra versus Godzilla 64. It's just such a great, incredible movie. My rankings can get a little controversial if you follow me on Letterboxd. I think I have 54 at number 7, and 54 is a good movie, but that's a whole discussion for another time. But I'd say Mothra vs. Godzilla because it's just a great movie. It's the quintessential Godzilla movie. Like if you're going into the franchise and you're new, Mothra vs. Godzilla is probably the closest in tone to the rest of the series. You know, you have Godzilla shows up, he's a jerk. Mothra shows up, they clash, and then the babies come, they clash. It's just a very traditional classic monster mash movie. And I like that.
Yes. It's definitely a good movie to sit back and just watch to.
Mm-hmm.
And you said the Godzilla and Gigan. That's definitely in my top 5 for sure. You know, even the human aspects, you know, you gotta just laugh. Where he has the corn on the cob wrapped up in aluminum foil. The guy passes out. Oh my God. Even to this day, it still cracks me up a little bit.
It's really strange. I went back and watched it as an adult. I think the movie's rated PG, but at the beginning, he straight up says you're a hard bitch. You know, I don't know if I can swear on the stream. Sorry in advance. But he totally says that. I'm like, holy crap, this is a PG movie. What's going on here? So that always gives me a good chuckle.
I mean, anything from the Showa era is, you know, pretty much gold. I mean, it's kind of hard to put anything less than the Showa era in at least your top 10, you know. It's just great stuff. What about non-Godzilla movies? What one would you say has a little place in your heart?
I really like The Lake from Thailand. That's a good modern example. Part of that connection is because it was the start of Kaiju United. It was like the first big movie that we, you know, got to see early and got to interview the director with and just watch the movie. And I fell in love with it. It's very rich in Thai mythology. It's a little Jurassic Park because the director loves Jurassic Park. You know, you got the big giant animatronic in the rain next to a car window. It's unashamed of that. But I would say that one's pretty near and dear. It's kind of hard for me to not like a kaiju movie. I kind of enjoy them all for what they are. And like I said, I'm a film guy. I watch a lot of foreign art house, you know, subtitled more, you know, I don't know what the right word is, you know, just really high grade stuff. But kaiju movies are over here. They could get to that level of high quality filmmaking, but I'm not gonna grade Gamera's Super Monster the same way I would grade The Seventh Seal by Ingmar Bergman. It's just it's not gonna compute that way. But that's a good example. In terms of other movies, I really liked Colossal. I thought that was unique and different. I am a huge Gamera the Brave apologist. I think Gamera the Brave is just as dang good as the trilogy. It's just got a lot of heart and soul. I think that those are a couple of good recommendations.
Not bad ones. I just, me personally, I just recently watched Hal from Beyond the Fog. And what got me is that's all, like marionettes, like clay animation sort of ish, It was just, it's only a half hour, 45-minute long, but holy crap, it was freaking incredible. The story was awesome. I mean, it was hit the marks.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too. And then behind the scenes on that movie, it's, Nebula, the monster, was sculpted by Kaiju Murase, who was 87, and he's, one of the last living people that worked on the Showa era suits. He sculpted the maquettes for Baragon and Varan and King Ghidorah. So him coming out of retirement to do that movie and sculpt the monster and design it and help design the suit was really cool. And then there's a movie called Brush of the God that still there's no release info yet, but I've seen it. He directed that, and the director of Hal from Beyond the Fog is the producer and helped film it and stuff. So it's nice that the independent indie side of kaiju movies is alive and well in Japan, and they're all really tight knit and work together and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff. All you guys at home, all you got to do is just right on your TV, your smart TV or whatever it might be, your phone. Just check it out. There's a lot of cool things. Notzilla, Howl from Beyond the Fog, many other things. There's multiple avenues. Gorgo, everything that you need. You got multiple kaiju movies you can get into, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, there's a whole world. Yeah, I haven't seen Notzilla, but I know about it. There's a whole world out there outside of Godzilla and Gamera. I mean, the whole Ultra franchise has 50 years worth of stuff that you can get into, and that's all kaiju, and it's all great. It's a lot of, there's highs and lows in every franchise, but a lot of it's really great. Like you said, the indie kaiju stuff. Out from Beyond the Fog, Raigo and Raiga by Shinpei Hayashiya, Yuzo, the Biggest Battle in Tokyo, and Attack a Giant Teacher by Yoshikazu Ishii, who was a assistant effects director on the Millennium series of Godzilla, and then directed Ultraman Ginga. So all these guys are just continuing to work and stuff and make their own kaiju movies, which is really cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's never a shortage of movies for anybody to go out and watch and just enjoy an evening.
100%.
Now, let's sort of kick away from kaiju a little bit. Outside of kaiju, I know you said you like movies. What type of movies right now are you enjoying?
Admittedly, I'm not watching as much as I should. I plan on watching a bunch of horror movies in October.
Of course. That's the month for it.
I always do it, and I have about 40 that I haven't seen, and I'm just going to burn through them all. I do that every year. Just in general of stuff I like. Like I said, I like a lot of Swedish and Soviet art house films. My favorite movies behind me on this side, I forget my camera's mirrored.
The Phantom.
Phantom of the Paradise by Brian De Palma, 1974. Great movie if you haven't seen it. It's not kaiju, but it's kind of a good blend of spooky and weird, but kind of fun and musically. I don't know, whatever the word is. My recent rabbit holes have been like Shaw Brothers. I've been watching a lot more Shaw Brothers recently. 36 Chamber Shaolin kind of stuff.
It's definitely a good one.
Oh, I love that movie. Just stuff like that. I just kind of want to watch every genre from every country that I can find, and I love genre film. I love horror movies. I love kung fu movies.
Do you ever see Ip Man?
I have. Ip Man's really fun.
And there's like what, five spinoffs or 4 spinoffs?
There's like 4. They're all like Ip Man 4 now. And then
yeah,
Ip Man 3, they fight Mike Tyson in one of them, which is
if you guys have not seen Ip Man, he's supposed to be Bruce Lee's master. Mm-hmm. Now, I think it really is based off the guy, because I think at the end of the movies they show pictures of what he really looked like.
Yeah.
Fantastic series. The struggles he had to go through when China got invaded by Japan, and what happened to him and his life. He's living life to the fullest. And then Japan took over, and he went from the depths of the bottom, built himself back up again, just being, martial arts teacher.
Yeah, I mean, if we're on the subject, The Raid from Indonesia is really good. I don't know if
I might have to check that out.
Yeah, it's an Indonesian action movie. 30 cops go into a building, like a skyscraper, to do a drug bust, and maybe 2 of them make it out. If you've seen the movie Dredd from 2012 with Judge Dredd and Carl Urban, that kind of environment where they're in a high-rise building and it's gritty and action, they took a lot of that from The Raid. Like there's a hallway. Wow. There's a hallway fight where the main guy fights 5 dudes holding machetes with just his fists and kicks and stuff. And
sort of like Daredevil on Netflix, where he's in the hallway in that one scene.
You're gonna see exactly where Daredevil took it from.
Oh wow! Oh, I'm definitely gonna have to check that out.
Yeah, like I don't want to demonetize the channel or anything, but I can send you a clip when we're done. Like he takes a guy by the head and slams him down on a door frame that's broken, and all that ugly fun stuff. But it's just, once it gets going, it's non-stop. It just keeps going. It's one of the best action films ever made, period, in my opinion. So
man,
I'll send you a trailer.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to. I'm hyped on that one. All right. You brought up Star Wars. Are you a Star Wars fan?
Casually. My favorite Star Wars movie is the original. It's just plain as bread Star Wars. A New Hope, I guess. But
you're right. For all you new guys, it was Star Wars. There was no A New Hope.
Just Star Wars. And I'm 26. I'll carbon date myself. So I'm definitely, it was a New Hope when I was a kid. But I like it. It's a fun, pulpy adventure movie, which is kind of what George Lucas grew up on. And I like the mystery. Real quick, I don't want to go on a rant, but part of my issue with Star Wars is most of the mystery's gone. Like, watch the original Star Wars and pretend like nothing else happened. And that film is crazy. Like,
oh yeah.
You're like Clone Wars. What are the Clone Wars? And then your head just starts spinning. Like, what could possibly be the Clone Wars? Was there a bunch of like Kenobis with lightsabers? Like, I think that's the coolest part.
I got into Star Wars 92, 93-ish, somewhere around there. And never knew anything. Just to what you said, the Clone Wars. And it was left up to your mind for its own interpretation of what it was.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to lie. I love the Clone Wars series on Cartoon Network. It was fantastic. I loved it. It lived up to everything I could ever imagine.
Exactly. And there's good stuff with those secrets being revealed. I just think And again, I was a kid when Revenge of the Sith came out, and I have a lot of nostalgia for Revenge of the Sith. Say what you will about the prequels, they have some low lows, but I do think Revenge of the Sith is pretty good.
Oh, that
Especially
came out.
John Williams' score.
Fun note, that came out. They debuted on my prom night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that was awesome. I didn't go that day. I went the day after, but still, Revenge of the Sith is number 3 for me. I think for me it goes episode 5, 6, Revenge of the Sith. You know, I'm a big Emperor Palpatine fan. I love Darth Sidious. Just got done reading Darth Plagueis, you know, for a second time. You know, I love that aspect.
I do like the extended universe. Like it's called Legends now, I think.
Yeah, no, it's
cool.
It's really, they're taking everything from it and screwing it all up.
I mean I like Legends, but it's cool that it could be it's like take it or leave it. You know, it's like almost like fan fiction. George Lucas even called it something similar. Like it's cool that those stories are there. And if you want to, you can add it to your own canon. But you know, it's also nice that you can just leave it and say that these movies are Star Wars. This is just extra seasoning on your dinner or something, you know.
Oh yeah, I mean, if anybody does get into the old canon, expanded universe, whatever the hell you want to call it, I do recommend Darth Plagueis, Darth Bane trilogy, Admiral Thrawn trilogy. Those are the top 7 that you should probably go read. Fantastic.
Yeah, those are solid. But you know, at the end of the day, I'm pretty casual on Star Wars. I don't think I went and saw The Rise of Skywalker. I didn't watch Andor. I hear Andor's pretty good.
It's
I didn't watch
decent.
Ahsoka. I haven't seen all the Clone Wars.
Ahsoka is depressing. Do not watch it. And I mean that. Do not watch it. Like I didn't mind Rebels when that came out, right?
That was cool.
They canceled the Clone Wars for Rebels, right? To start something new. I was a little salty about that. I got over it. I rewatched it before Ahsoka came out just to, you know, get ready for it. And then Sabine. Did you ever watch Rebels? Sabine, you know, the Mandalorian. She's in her 20s, and now all of a sudden she can use Force powers.
Yeah.
You know, just out of the blue. You know,
I don't read too deep into it.
Stuff like that drives me nuts. I think that's
where I'm
why
at with Star Wars. Like I don't read that deep into it. I'm just like whatever. They're wizards with laser sticks. It's all
right.
dumb anyway. Right. It's all dumb anyway. Like who cares? At least that's where I'm at. But I get it. Like I feel that way about Transformers, where I'm like Bumblebee finally did some really great G1 inspired designs for the Transformers. And I'm like, okay, see, how hard was that? How hard was that? But I get it. I get why people can feel very passionately about the franchises they enjoy.
I'm that old. I remember Bumblebee actually being a Volkswagen Beetle.
Yeah, Bumblebee is a Beetle.
Now, what other things besides movies are you into?
I'm a forever and always, for better or worse, till death do us part, lover of Halo. I'll play the games no matter what, no matter how strange their decisions can be. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the multiplayer.
For everybody out there, I think he's referring to Infinite.
I play a lot of Infinite, dude. I'll get off this call and probably start playing Infinite again. I like the multiplayer. I just think they didn't do so well in rolling out what they wanted to, as like a live service thing. But that I don't have to get into that. But I like Halo. I like the lore. I like the story. I love Master Chief as a character. I love Doom. Doom and Doom Eternal were phenomenal. I'm excited for the Dark Ages. It looks pretty cool. I love fighting games. I'll play a lot of Super Smash Brothers, Mortal Kombat. I haven't played Street Fighter 6 yet.
I'm still on 5.
I want to play. I played the new King of Fighters, which is pretty fun. I fell in love with Terry. Yeah, I fell in love with Terry after he appeared in Smash Brothers, and I just went back and played KOF 98, 2002, and I love that era of fighting games a lot. My favorite fighting game of all time, though, is Marvel vs. Capcom 2. It's just this is the best. It's the greatest.
I mean, that series right there is pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm. Where was I going with that? Comic books. I like comics. I'm mostly a Marvel guy, but I'm reading more DC. I don't really do the indie comics that much unless there's a kaiju in it, but I respect it. It's just not my thing.
Which comics you reading right now?
I don't think I'm reading anything ongoing. I'll pick up the Godzilla comics that are coming out from IDW, but a lot of my reading is going back. And for DC, it's reading Batman and Superman stories that I need to check out. They're essential. I love the Silver and Bronze Age of comics. So I'll read like old Doctor Strange is my favorite. I love the supernatural Marvel and the Marvel monsters kind of stuff. But in terms of ongoing, I don't have a hold or anything. I just kind of, Godzilla IDW comic came out. I'll pick it up, kind of thing.
Batman Last Laugh is a fantastic one.
I think I read that. I got to look at my shelf. I read a lot of Batman over this past summer, like July to August. I just dived into Batman. The one thing I'll say is I don't really care about the Bat family, and I know that's really sacrilege, but I like Batman when he's by himself.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I totally agree. Something else you should check out you haven't read is AVX, Avengers vs. X-Men.
I read that. I read it when it came out.
Yeah, did you like it?
It was cool. It wasn't like a greatest of all time story, but it was fun.
Yeah. It was a nice little storyline. I'm a big X-Men fan myself. I live and die on that hill.
That's cool. It's really strange, I never got into X-Men the way a lot of people did. And that might be because I was born in 98. I was too late for the 90s show.
Yeah.
I was a kid when the Fox movies were coming out. And there were some good highs and there were some low lows with that franchise.
Yeah, I think what got me is what you said. The 90s cartoon show is just what pretty much saved Marvel, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Marvel, that show, and then selling off their movie rights is what saved them from bankruptcy. That being said, I liked X-Men 97. I thought it was really good.
Oh, yeah, they did a fantastic job. It reminded me. And what they did with Magneto, Magneto is one of my favorites of all time. They just made him so freaking awesome, especially when they attacked Genosha. Oh my gosh, that was insane.
I appreciated that Cyclops was cool again.
Yes. To me, my X-Men.
I'm hoping the MCU makes Cyclops cool. I'm tired of Cyclops kind of not being cool unless you're a hardcore comic person. Cyclops is cool. I like him.
Well, back in the day, you were either, you're on that triangle. You're either Wolverine, or most people were Wolverine, or you're Cyclops,
Mm-hmm.
And Wolverine, for due rights, just had that popularity to him.
That's fair.
But Cyclops himself, his powers by itself are freaking incredible. Punch a hole through a mountain. He's nuts.
He is not. He is not as lame and dorky as you may think.
No, oh no. He could do some damage to people. And like you said, 97, he brought him back to being a badass.
Yeah, 100%.
We're about hitting that time.
Ooh, yeah, 55 minutes. We're getting close.
Let's wrap her up. I forgot, Jacob. Where can we find you guys again? How can I stay
no worries,
in the
man.
know?
No, it's okay. So first and foremost, we're a website like Bloody Disgusting, but for kaiju. So we're kaijuunited.com. There's a plethora of incredible writers and creators that submit articles and reviews and stuff for us. And, we are really great at kaiju and Godzilla and stuff, but we'll also branch out a little bit. We covered Alien Romulus. So if you're into creature features, we'll do some of that. News, articles, reviews. Our bread and butter is interviews. I think we're the best at interviews. We're interviewing people that are really cool and provide some cool information and insight. Social media wise, you can find us on Kaiju United pretty much. If you just look up Kaiju United, you can find us. All of our profile pictures say KU, which is real easy and catchy. You can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. And then if you want to connect with KU, if you want to write for us or work with us, just hit us up. We're open door. We want to hear your pitches, and we're very friendly to community writers and people that just want to hone their writing skills and not have it be so stuffy. You know what I mean? So that's where you can find us. That was a mouthful.
Oh, fantastic stuff, too. I'll tell you what. My number one go-to for news. Like you said earlier, might not be the quickest, but they're the most accurate.
And we like waiting. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was going to say we like waiting. Like a good example is the Ishiro Honda documentary. People were sharing news about that when the website went live, but we waited because I went and talked to the producers behind that, and I said, let's get some press kits and let's do this right. So that's why we waited on that, and now we have that news drop. We had the interviewee news drop. We're gonna have a couple more things. So sometimes it pays to be patient and just really get some good info. So at least that's where our head's at.
And it seems to be working out well for you guys over there.
Appreciate it.
One last question before we wrap this up. What are you most excited about this coming year?
Oh, that's a good question. I like the mystery. I'm sure there's going to be some cool announcements on Godzilla Day in Japan. We have Monarch Season 2 on the way. Other than that, we don't really know. There's a lot of mystery. It might slow down a little bit before the next MonsterVerse movie in 2027. So I'm interested to see how we navigate that. And I'm interested to see the cool things the community comes up with. It's cool to see the YouTube channels growing. It's cool to see these creators do Kickstarters for their comics. It's just nice to see that even when we have quiet moments and lulls in the community, creators step up and do cool things. And I think that's really awesome.
Yes. It helps fill the voids of nothingness.
Absolutely.
All right, Jacob, it's been fun. I'm glad that you came aboard, and this has been a blast. Everybody,
Thanks,
go check out Kaiju United. Click on all their stuff, their Instagram, his Facebook stuff, everything that you can find. Great stuff. Really awesome. He's a great guy. Go check it out. This is Gfan 84. We'll see you next time, guys.